pedestal and go to sell it, it'll appear there. So if you're not sure if you want to sell something but you really want this orc mints for something else at the time, you can sell it and it'll stay in the shop, and that'll be, you know, safe, and you'd be able to buy it whenever you need to come back for it if you have the money for it. So that's a handy little thing indeed. Now let's go on over here and continue on with the level and get some more free lockpicks. Yes, these satanic displacement glyphs, if you step on them, you get teleported somewhere else. And as you can see, I was over there on the map, and now I'm all the way over here. So let's go back and continue from where we were so we don't just get completely lost. Bread! If we were able to eat cheese, we could find a disposable ingot press somewhere, and we could make the cheese and the bread into a tasty grilled cheese sandwich. But, you know, if we do that, it's full of animal stuffs, and that's not good because we're vegans. So yeah, don't don't be tempted. I mean, it's a great thing, the sandwich. I'm not sure, was there one in here? Yeah, there was. So here's your grilled cheese sandwich. Chances of me finding one are slim to none, so since we've got shag all money anyway, I'll just get it and show you how much it does. 40 health is what it regenerates for you. Now there's better items than that, but it's still good. And here's a tasty slime that we can kill. And now we're standing in acid, because it was mean and put it there. And our Diggle friends here didn't see fit to help us. Possibly because we don't have a certain skill that the vegan tree will give you. And here we go. Here's an Uber chest. And as you can see, there's a little line of light coming out here. That means it's open. So one of those switches that I flipped earlier opened it. So if you open an Uber chest, you get an artifact. And that's a nice looking artifact. Nice little ring. We'll put it on. And we get some damage fire damage reduction. And we get +1 to our caddishness. And caddishness helps out a few different things. You know, counter chance and all that. So that was a nice little find. Hopefully we'll get more stuff like that. Aha, here's another thing that's great.
Heroic vandalism.
Heroic vandalism. Breaking a statue of Lord Dredmor. It is such fun. And now we have a denim jacket. That's so much better than our jacket. In fact, it gave us existential damage reduction and slashing. Nice. It also gives us 2 to block chance and 1 to armor absorption. So that was a nice little find for us at this point in the game, at least. We'll probably get rid of it at some point, but for now, it's worth holding on to. And, ooh, lockpicks and a brass ingot. Some cheese. Well, we're getting a lot of stuff here. This is something that kind of came in with one of the updates as well. Just big rooms full of stuff. See, here we go. Here's a nice little belt. It's not as good as the gun belt that we saw in Brax's shop, but it's still okay. Now, as you can see, I'm picking up everything. Some things I'll keep a hold of and use, but most of it I am going to sell. Except these bolts of squid. You can get a lot of money for them, but they are amazingly useful when you're doing, you know, a few things. When you're going into a big room with lots and lots of creatures called a monster zoo. I'll tell you all about them when we get to one. For now, we just found a bucket on the ground. It's not the best helmet in the world, but we're going to use it as a helmet anyway. And as you can see, when I put it on, our stats change a little bit there. In fact, they change in a way that I'm not entirely happy with, because my sneakiness goes down. Screw it. We don't need to be sneaky. We're friends with the animals. They won't hurt us. Only the demons and the vegetables will hurt us. But we can deal with them, can't we? So we'll continue on in here and have a look around. Now, this is another one of these teleporting rooms. So this one will take you down here. There's another one there that'll take you down below again. Then there's a fourth one, and that over there is the fifth one. So you kind of go around in a nice big circle. And a lot of these will have absolutely nothing in them. But we'll continue on after we just check in here. Nothing. Okay, so we'll go right the way around, because everyone likes playing musical switches. And since we seem to be going downwards first, let's keep going. And now that we've got, let's see, a total of 11 plus 2, so 13 damage, we're able to take out those vegetables pretty easy. Which is kinda nice. I'm actually very happy about that. And there's another trap. Face me, blob of doom. Now, this I'm not too sure about, the burning brazier. I have no idea what it's really there for. All I know is in one of the updates they put it in, and when you walk between two of them, they start, burning. I don't know if they have any actual benefit to you or if it does anything at all. But, it goes on fire, which is kinda cool. And we have another Brax. And he has a pair of trousers. Not really something we need yet. That helmet's a little better than what we have, but I think we'll just stick with ours and we'll get more lockpicks at the same time, because our skill was ready. Get out of my way, Diggle. Yeah, that's the thing with your animal friends. Okay, we've got several blobbies. Let's see if we can annihilate these guys. Ooh. We've got a lot of blobbies and a lot of vegetables as well. I'm not sure if I really like this at the moment, because we're starting to take a bit of damage. Not too much.
Your health is low.
And there we go. You saw that we got a fruit from that guy. And I really shouldn't have stepped through that acid. But it's okay, because now we can show you, what happens when you eat some food. So let's eat some tofu. The vegan staple. Every turn you get an extra 1 point of health from the food you've eaten. That was a stupid move. I stepped on top of a gargoyle acid bolt trap. And as you can see, the acid was trying to eat away at me. Not good. And as you also saw, it said I had a 45% chance of disarming it. So I could try and disarm it, and it's basically a 50-50 chance. But if I screw up, it will shoot me. And I just don't want to risk it right now. Maybe in a bit, but right now, you know, we'll just leave it be. And we'll go continue killing vegetables. And something stepped on a trap and died! So I leveled up. What we're going to do here is get this, the next level of Killer Vegan. We're going to get the Animal Friend ability. Will I ever actually use it? Probably not. I'm doing it more for the health bonus and the other stat upgrades. And, you know, just generally keeping in line with the whole vegan thing. You know, we see what it does. It keeps the animals away from me, which is nice. And it can power you up a fair bit. It actually gives you some hefty stat bonuses. Once you get it up there, you're getting a ton of extra health and a good boost to a few other stats. So it's always handy. Of course, the other thing is, as you progress in it, your debuff if you hit an animal or if you eat some food you're not supposed to eat, you know, the debuff gets worse. So not many people, you know, would really want to push it too much unless they know what they're doing. You know, it's one of those things, you have to know what, you have to have some idea of what you're doing before you really try it out, because it could go horribly wrong if you don't know what to expect. And if you're in the middle of a big battle with like a couple dozen guys on screen and you're trying to beat them all and whatnot, if you eat the wrong type of food at the wrong time, you know, it's game over. You could get completely screwed, and you don't want that. You really don't. Now, I look in each of these bookcases to see what's in them, even though there's really not much point, because since I don't have any of the crafting skills, a lot of it is completely useless to me, because there's no item other than Tinkerer's Goggles that can give you a boost to any of the crafting abilities. And that... Oh, my inventory's full. Huh. Well, isn't that nice? I'm gonna have to go find a Brax and get rid of all of this. Well, first I gotta kill this blobby that's following me, because it was annoying. Come on over here, blobby. Blobby. Where did all of these come from? Maybe they figured out that I killed their friend and they're wanting revenge. It's understandable, but I don't think they realize that they're only in for an axe in the face. Assuming they have faces, and they have eyes, so isn't it logical to assume they have faces? It should be logical enough to assume that they have a face, I guess. And of course, it's not really an axe in the face, because I'm dual wielding, it's two axes in the face. But that's just nitpicking, really. As you can see, it's a simple enough game. You just run around and have a look at all these different things, and you fight your way through it. The best thing about the game, though, is that you will never play the same game twice. Even if you pick the exact same skills all the time, the dungeons are completely random. You never know what you're going to get. The quests are all very samey, but they're still random. And you're never guaranteed of actually beating the game, even if you find the ultimate set of skills that works perfectly for you in 99.9% of the situations. You know, basically like pretty much every other roguelike game out there, which is what this is. Now this thing. This is what I love more than Brax. This is a Horadric Lutefisk cube. Every item you put in here becomes this, Lutefisk. Now Lutefisk is a food that gives you 1 health when you eat it. Normally you're not going to eat it. I am going to eat this one because it is the first Lutefisk we have had so far. And if you eat the Lutefisk, you get an achievement. The Lake Woebegone achievement for eating a Lutefisk. Of course, I also now suffer my 200 turns of shame as well. But the good thing about the Lutefisk cube is all of this stuff here that we don't need can be turned into Lutefisk. And I didn't point it out before, but we passed a statue. The statue that was in... which room was it? It was this room here. That little block of greenish bluey kind of colour there was the Lutefisk statue. And if you put a pile of Lutefisk at his feet, he will give you an artifact of some description. Could be something useful, it could be something completely pointless, but if you slap down 500 Lutefisk in front of him, you've got a good chance of getting something nice. Granted, I've rarely gotten anything completely useful from him, but, you know, he's nice, you know, the Lutefisk Shrine. Such a nice little inanimate object of magical power. So yeah, we'll put a lot of stuff in there, especially things like this, the softballs, because we have 21 Lutefisk, and shove on top these 27 balls, and we get 48. Oh, and our lockpick skill is ready, so more lockpicks. Eventually we'll start piling lockpicks in, and that'll help us get a lot closer to 500 a lot quicker. And you have to be careful to only put in stuff that you mean to turn to Lutefisk. Because say you accidentally picked up these bolts of squid and you put them in, as you can see there's no way of stopping it. It goes in and it is gone for good. You could have an amazing artifact, has like plus 50 to everything, which I don't think exists really, but you know, we're doing hypotheticals here. If you have that and you put it in, it is gone. There is no way to get it back. So you really should, if it's at all possible, try not to do that. But we're doing well here. Cleared out our inventory quite a bit, and we now have 79 Lutefisk. So let's continue on and see what we can do in the rest of this map. We're halfway through it. We've got half of it uncovered. So we're getting there, you know. It's a few minutes in now. We're a little powerful, not too powerful, and I forgot to go and speed up time here so that I can get rid of my debuff of doom. But we're sorting that little mistake out now. So we get this sorted. And there we go, we're back to... Ooh, that was stupid of me. I stepped on an anti-magic field. So no magic skill can be used for the next little while. And another amulet. Not as good as the one we have, so we'll just keep it to sell to Brax. Yeah, I'm not gonna turn everything into Lutefisk, because some things might be worth at least a little bit of money. And if Brax is willing to pay, then, you know, I think he should be given the chance to pay. You know, we gotta be generous like that. I mean, after all, he's being generous and allowing us to buy a few things. So, why not be generous to him and allow him to pay for a few bits? And this does nothing now because the other lever opened this door, but I usually just pull it anyway, just in case. And now we're going to walk back up here and start heading more towards the right, because we have gone through every door we can down in that direction. Now that's the thing about this and other roguelike games. You start off in one direction and the path can fork a bunch of times all at once. And if you're not careful, you can get fairly lost. Ooh, what's that? I don't recognize that bolt. See, I don't normally use bolts, so, you know, if there's any new ones in it, I don't know if they're new and what they do, you know, so some of them might just look a bit funny to me and I might not know what the full story is with them. So, anyone that does, don't assume I'm just being an idiot for the sake of it. It's really me being an idiot. But let's engage in some more heroic vandalism. Oh yeah. Now you get 50 experience points for destroying one of them, times the level you're on. So on the first level it's 50, the second it's 100, and so on and so forth. Which is a great thing indeed. Because if you find yourself in a room with several of them, all at once, there's a good chance you might be able to get a level out of them. Of course, as you progress further in the game, there's less of a chance and whatnot, but, you know, you just keep going until you run out. We found nothing in that one. That's so nice. Get traps out of the way, get barrels out of the way. We'll drink the potentially acid. No, that was cold. So it'll give us some cold damage and cold resistance, which is handy. And then this water, it tastes foul and we feel stupid, so it gives us minus to our magical abilities. Make a wish and pull the lever. That means this lever up here. Levers in this room always do the same. They always put down these healing crystals. And that's kinda nice, but there's sometimes things in the way, so sometimes there's like one square that you can't get to, like that one there that's under the bookshelf. It's kind of annoying, but not too bad, so you can kind of forgive them for it. Just be aware of that and it won't really get to you. There's so much activity on my Steam today. That was stupid. I should have stopped. But, you know, that trap now might just kill one of those bats if I'm lucky. No, it didn't. That's a pity. Because that means that, you know, I don't get any experience from dead bats. Again, it's a kind of annoying drawback from being a vegan, because yeah, they don't try to kill you, and you don't have to kill them. But you know, unless you're coming across a lot of demons or stuff like that, you're potentially losing out on a lot of experience. I mean, I know they don't give you much experience, but every little helps after all. And they could potentially stay in your way for several turns there, which is annoying in and of itself. But, you know, like I said, you don't have to kill them, they don't kill you, so there's pluses and minuses. Now this thing here, when you come into a room like this and you see a blue square like that, that'll heal you and restore your mana. And that is very nice, especially if like there's a large group of monsters following you or in a room next to it. You know, you can save it and just backtrack to it if you're in a situation where you're taking a lot of damage. There's also a room with a red square that will, you know, blind you at least a little and summon at least 4 creatures. Now, some of them could be animals, it's possible, which wouldn't be too bad, and you'd be able to get away from them quite easily if you were a vegan. But of course, it could also be that it'll summon a lot of demons, which isn't as cool, because if you're not prepared for it, you could die, because it's all in an enclosed space and they can swarm around you pretty easy. Now, I've never had that happen, but you know, there's the potential for it to happen. So just be aware of that, and if you see a room like that, feel free to use it, but just be careful. Now, here's another inconsequentia. Now, there's like 2 or 3 on each level, I think. You know, normally it's about 3. And there's a quarter of the map left. And I still haven't found the item that the other inconsequentia asked me to find. So, hopefully this one and the previous one, their quest items or monsters or whatever will be in that final quarter of the map, and I won't have to backtrack around the place. But we'll see. Pray to inconsequentia. Yes, we will. The magical artifact Innis, the martial moon, has been lost. Will you take on the challenge of finding it for the glory of inconsequentia? I guess. Since you're too fucking lazy to do it yourself. You have to have random strangers come along and do it all for you. I guess I can be nice. Just this once. And go out and search for it. And for some reason my computer is starting to, you know, spaz out a bit. It's going very slow. Okay, here is that room I was telling you about. With the red square. So let's see what happens. Now, this wasn't too bad. As you can see, you've got Shroud of Darkness, which gives you -2 to your nimbleness, and -2 to... What the hell is that? That's... I am blind. Oh yeah, it's this skill here, which is Trap Sight Radius, and of course the other one was this one here, which is Visual Sight Radius, and that's why, you know, we can only really see this area and everything else is in the Fog of War. So of course they won't hurt me, and I get to kill that vegetable. And continue on. So that's what the red square does. And as you can tell, it wasn't too bad. But you know, if you're on later levels and you're not prepared for what could potentially come out, you know, it could end badly for you. So just be aware of the potential dangers when you're going through those, you know, when you're going into those rooms and you're going into those squares. Get out of my way, Diggle. Get out of my way, Diggle. Ah, more Diggle eggs! And a trap I didn't see.
Regain health.
Get out of my way, Diggle, damn you! You had me standing in a trap for way too long. In fact, it was just long enough for me to say, fuck it, let's just eat some tofu. Now this slowdown is getting to me now, so I'm just gonna pause the recording here and see what's going on, and I'll be back in a moment.